Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you another Middle-earth Monday, and this is actually the last video in the Osgiliath box set. After this video is complete, I have a full playlist helping you guys get the new Osgiliath box set from Games Workshop fully completed on the table and ready for some games. The last video in the series is going to be on the Mordor Troll. So it is a big brute of a model, lots of skin, lots of armor, lots of leather, lots of bits and pieces that can seem quite tricky that I'm hopefully going to help you guys be able to do by the end of the video with no problems whatsoever. Before I get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my active patrons. Without you guys, I would not be able to keep the lights on and the cameras rolling. If you are not already a member of my Patreon and are thinking about joining up, some of the benefits you receive are access to a private Discord server where you can hang out with me and over 150 other people these days and chat about your hobby and get inspired. And two, you get an extra video every single week. So that's 52 extra videos a year that is just for you guys. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the video. The Mordor Troll plastic kit is actually quite an old kit and some of the details on it aren't fantastic. So we'll try and make up for that for some of our painting techniques as we go along. I got the model all built up, filled in as much gaps as I thought were needed, sprayed it black and then sprayed it grey Seer. After that we moved over to Guilliman Flesh for all of the skin. I have built several of these model kits, well, since they came out, to be honest. It's the first time I've ever built this one, which is the least armored one. It doesn't have the armored chest piece. It's like a simpler troll, doesn't have the forged weapon. It's just got a big gnarly club. I thought it would be a little bit of fun to show you guys this so we can tackle the skin in more detail. Everybody knows how to paint beaten armor at this stage, but we'll still go over it later on in the video. But I thought the skin will be a lot more fun. Okay, with the first contrast on, it's now time to move over to Nazdreg Yellow, and this is going to be for all of the kind of cloth that the model has on the miniature. I was very tempted to do this red to match more in with the infantry, the Mordor orcs, and stuff like that are in the army, but for some reason there is some kind of red war paint on the armor. I didn't bother doing that, but I was tempted to do the red. You may want to do the red. You can choose any color you want. If you change the color on your Mordor orcs cloth color to be something else, this is where you would change it on the troll. This is supposed to look like some sort of beaten cloth or something like that. Gore-Grunta Fur was then used for all of the big callousy skin parts, all of his tough armored hide. Because the skin tone we put on first is quite light, the Gore-Grunta Fur will go over this really nicely and help blend the colors together. Don't worry, later on when we shade everything and stuff, everything will get blended together even more. These models definitely have a strict ugly stage where you get to that point in painting where you think this isn't going to work. It's important to always follow through and finish the job because you will be shocked by what you can achieve. Wyldwood was used for his big stumpy club. That's about all I really used the Wyldwood for. I wanted to stand out as some sort of hard dark wood. And I think Wyldwood does that job particularly well. After that, we're going to move over to Black Templar, and this is for all of the straps. So obviously he has the cross section of straps, which is, I suppose, originally supposed to make it look like his breastplate is being held on. Not using his breastplate in this one, so it's just kind of a cross leather belt for sticking his trophies and stuff on. But then also all of the leather straps that hold on the rest of his armor are going to get painted as well at this point. Being careful not to kind of go wide on this because it will stain the Nazdreg quite badly and hard to recover from. From here we're going to jump over to Leadbelcher and just base coat in all the armor panels. It's a very simple and easy bit. It's just said my one only has armored arms and then his helmet, and that's pretty much it. If you're going with the breastplate and the shield and the sword, he's obviously going to have a lot more metal to do. That's okay, just follow the steps for all the metal for all the same metal parts. I do like the big armored one. Makes him look like a big Uruk-hai troll, which is really cool. From here, we're going to throw a little bit of Volupus Pink just into the mouth. So we're going to go for the entire mouth coverage with this, all the gums, all the teeth and everything like that. We go back and paint in the teeth later on. Having a little bit of pink around the edges just makes it look more realistic. Starting to look like a troll. Let's see if we can get past that ugly stage. So we're going to go Agrax Earthshade for the entire miniature, just like we did with all the other Mordor videos we've done so far. This will help blend all of those miniatures into the same cohesive army, giving it that dark brown feel. It'll help seal and protect all the contrast. and pull all the tones closer together. While the shade was drying, I took my time and I based the miniature as well. I always love basting the miniature halfway through the project, because then it really does feel like I'm working towards the end of a project instead of getting to the end of painting and dying to see it on a base and then having to go through that whole process. So it's just the way I do it. So now we're going to spend some time and work on the skin. So we're going to start on Bugman's Glow, and we're actually going to go through all 3 layers of skin on this. So Bugman's Glow, Cadian Flesh, Kislev Flesh, and we're going to be feathering those techniques the whole way along. So as you see, I'm not trying to get full opacity, I'm not trying to get full coverage. I'm being kind of messy and a little bit fast because I want to leave those lines behind. And if you look at the website and look at the Mordor troll that the MB Metal team have done, it's kind of the same idea. You want the skin to look kind of cracked and kind of old and, you know, look like a piece of skin as opposed to this like pristine block of one color, which really doesn't work for skin. As we go to the second color, as you see, I'm feathering even lighter, leaving more of that pink tone behind in the recesses. Same thing with the face. The face is very detailed and it's got nice like lines, easy to highlight. Just follow along and make sure you get all those details. The 3 stages of skin in total only took about 15 minutes to do maybe, and such a big model in your army, it's worth spending that time and doing it. From here, we're just going to jump up to that Kislev Flesh, which is going to be the final highlight on the skin, and go even lighter again. I'm going to start on the same section just to show you guys what I mean. As you can see, it's only I'm even moving slower with the brush, as I don't want to get crazy coverage. And like I said, on the face, you want to take your time across the top of the lips. He's got 2 lines going up kind of edge of his mouth up to his eyes. They're great pieces to highlight and add that color to. And then of course his lips. And with that, we have the skin on the ogre or the troll finished up. I actually really like how it turned out. Under the light it looks brighter than it is, not that crazy. Tallarn Sand was then used to highlight and layer up all of that cloth bit we talked about earlier. This is once again quite a simple technique, and all we're trying to do is not hit off the skin, as the skin is the only part that's finished so far. The black belt and the metallics around it are still yet to be layered, so if you make a mistake and hit those bits, it's not the end of the world. Mornfrang Brown was used to add a very quick kind of top highlight to all of that hardened leathery skin. And all we're going to do is aim for the tops. If we're going to leave all the sides, the nice dark brown, and all in between, nice dark brown, just the very tops of them. Quick light highlight. Like I said again, we don't need full opacity on this. It's a skin tone, so that's fine. From here, we're going to go to Corvus Black, and we're going to highlight and layer up all of the belts. As you can see, they're very quick passes. Like I'd say, if you sat down with this miniature, excluding drying time like contrast and the basing material, you would get this model painted in less than an hour. I always break it into 2 sections. You kind of base coat, shade the miniature, and put the texture paint on, and then you can go in and have your lunch. I'll go, watch some TV for an hour, come back, finish the base, and then layer the model. So it's definitely a nice evening project, getting a nice section of your Mordor army done. Leadbelcher was then brought back in to layer up all of the metallics. Again, we don't want to go any brighter than this. They're not, forged in a glorious armor. They're not Gondor soldiers. These are whatever scraps of metal they can find and beat into a rough shape of armor. Screaming Skull was then used as a very quick coat on all the teeth. Nothing more than that, like because we have that pink in the entire mouth, it's just going to pop really, really well. And look like a really nice finished mouth section in absolutely no time. Painted in the eyes. And call the troll complete. Like I said, under the harsh light of the painting thing, it looks a little bit too bright, but hopefully I'll show you guys some darker pictures like this. This is how it's actually going to look stomping across the battlefield. Really cool, really nice, really matches the force. Super pleased to have this done. Now I just have to get the rest of the bits and pieces in the box set done up, and then hopefully I can get a battle report for Lord of the Rings on the table for you guys very, very soon. And there we have it, one Mordor troll fully painted and ready for the tabletop. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give the video a like. The more likes it gets, the more it gets pushed out to more people. That really helps the channel. Ask me any questions you want about Lord of the Rings or painting or anything you want in the comments below, and I will get back to each and every one of you guys. And if for some crazy reason you're not already subscribed to my channel, please take 2 seconds out of your day and hit that button. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.